Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, this is Big Sexy Digital Nomad because I got my pal Big Sexy right there across
Oh, hold
the.
on. Wait. I get a video recording error. We encounter error with the video recording. We advise you to reconnect to session. Hold on a second.
Well, I had Big Sexy over there. He is ducking out and coming back, and I think that for the people, we're gonna just keep this in here like this and keep it interesting. Or maybe I'll cut it out. Who knows? This is the Almost Psychic coming at you. We got new software here that we're recording with, and Big Sexy is back.
All right, and I've returned. Let's see if I hang on. Not sure what the connection is about.
So we are playing around with some new software, which by the
so
time you hear this episode, which is a bank episode, will probably be well ironed out, and we'll probably chuckle to ourselves about how stupid we were about some dumb thing that we, by the time this airs, will know about and have ironed out. But yeah.
But in the meantime, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to Big Sexy Digital Nomad. We thank you for being here.
And depending on the order in which these drop, if they drop in the order that we recorded them, this is probably the last bank episode that you're going to hear without actual intro music. We've got a scoop from the a listener from the ICS podcast who we've connected with. We don't have that music yet, but we are working on it, which gives me confidence that by the next time that we record a bank episode, that will be there. So that's exciting.
That's Froyo, right? That's our boy Froyo.
Yes. So shout out to him. And also thank you all, or in the alternative, fuck you all, because we're recording this on election day. So y'all, y'all they came through and made it happen, or you didn't, and it's your fault.
Yeah, as we're recording, we do not know the results yet because it is actually election day. So people are going out. Those who have not voted early. I voted early.
As did I.
Me and the wife voted early. We want to get it out the way. I wish there was a way that the propaganda and campaign onslaught marketing machine knew when you voted early. Like once you put in your vote, went through the airwaves and says, okay, stop sending these people shit. They've already voted.
I kind of agree with you because of the noise and how annoying it is, but nothing, and I repeat, nothing pleases me more probably in this world than, and this is only when it's from somebody that I would never ever with a gun to my head vote for, when their campaign literature shows up in my mailbox after the election, not just after I've voted, but like shit that's going to show up in the mail tomorrow because they just didn't time it right. It pleases me greatly that they've wasted their money if I don't like them.
It irritates me more because it wastes my time.
Yeah.
All you're doing now is handing me this, saying, here, you throw this away.
Exactly. And they killed a tree, and that's not cool.
There's so much. And it seems to be getting worse and worse every year. And I'm so glad we don't have to deal with this again, possibly ever. Although, I mean, we're still going to vote. You know, we just won't. We'll receive the digital onslaught, just not the mailbox onslaught.
Well, other than emails, do you think that you'll receive? I mean, there are elections for positions in other countries that you might be living in, but you're not going to get.
No, because we'll still be U.S. citizens.
But you still shouldn't. I mean, as far as in the digital space, you know, you're navigating social media or whatnot. You shouldn't get fed ads for stuff when you're physically in another country, right? Does that stuff not go off of your location?
No,
if they do it right.
You still get party emails.
Oh, the emails, yes.
Yeah. Other than emails, but other than that, I don't know. I can't say because I've never lived anywhere else outside of the U.S., so I don't know what what that'll be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are there here's a question for listeners. If you're listening to this and you are an actual expat from the US, whether you're a digital nomad or whether you've just relocated or otherwise, maybe you won a mouth finger butthole tournament and have married Brogan Hastings and live in Scotland, although it's my understanding that Brogan is trying to get to the US and Las Vegas, but let's forget the details. If you
can
are
dual citizen, you get dual citizenship. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a citizen in another country or a citizen here who's moved and living in another country, are you getting fed and inundated on obviously not emails, because the emails don't know where you are, they don't care. You're just on a list. But with your social media feeds, and I don't mean like you're watching Big Sexy or me and we've posted something, but the ads, the specific targeted I think they're geo-targeted usually ads. Are you getting them for politicians in this country or the locale that you came from, or are you being fed content that's very specific? I mean, I know that the science on it is imprecise because, I don't know, about 2-3 months ago, I was getting fed ads on the Facebook as if I were in Nashville, Tennessee. And this went on for like a solid month. And I've been to Nashville, but it had been 2 years since I had been to Nashville. So I don't know what, and it has since stopped. I don't know what caused me to get these ads that were targeted. And it was all sorts of shit, like everything from restaurants to events and concerts to having my driveway seal coated, like anything that you would be fed an ad for, I was fed an ad for.
That makes sense.
Specifically in Tennessee.
I still get marketing calls and things of that from California because I have a 909 phone number.
But you also lived there. Like, I've spent maybe 4 total days in Nashville.
Oh, really? So you weren't there for any kind of extended time?
No, I was there for like so one of the NFL players that I represent, I was there for to meet him, and they were doing a mock pro day at one of the training facilities that he was training at in Nashville. So, like, it was fly in. I don't even know if I was there for 2 whole days. Just, a short stint. In, hang out, go to this pro day. Maybe I stayed an extra day. I don't remember exactly because that was 2 years ago. And then rolled out.
And you got targeted and locked in.
But this just started a couple months ago for like a month. So there wasn't really a correlation.
It wasn't a correlation. That's weird. That's super weird.
Yeah. And it has since stopped.
I guess they just want you to move back. They want you to move to Tennessee. They're like, hey, you came here for a little bit. How about you move on over down here and come join us down here in Tennessee? I don't know if this is how Tennesseans sound. And shout out to all my Tennessee listeners.
Hey, there are pros and cons. I mean, I got a sweet little operation I got running here in Maryland, so getting me out of here would be very, very difficult.
Right.
I don't know if I've mentioned this one here before. I almost bought a house in Las Vegas or Summerlin, actually. I was actively looking for houses. This would have been like a second home because I was out there enough, and it's kind of like one of those, and feel free to like kick me in the teeth here if I start telling a story I've already told, but there's this thought of you just got to carry all this shit with you when you go. So if I had a place out there, because I'm out there like 10, or at least I was like 10 times a year, at least I'd have stuff there, and I wouldn't have to worry about carting it back and forth on the airplane and everything like that. So I was looking at places late 2019, early 2020. Then the world went to shit, and I was like, well, we're going to hit the brakes on this. So.
No, you have not told that story before, and that would have been, yeah, I get it. Vegas is a great place to own property and reside. Again, I thought that was going to be our pathway. Actually, that's what we were looking at. We're looking at the apartment we're in now. as a holdover until we found property, and we were gonna, locate and then start the process of buying property here. Either find like a condo to buy, or a small house or whatever. But then we got the great idea to become digital nomads, and so that's what we're gonna do. That's the pathway we're gonna take.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm still not moved in. Like, everything is physically in that house. But seeing how much shit I have makes me envy this process of just getting rid of most of your shit and just skipping out with a little bit of nothing.
With a little bit of stuff. It's been interesting. So we had another garage sale this past weekend, as of this recording, and we again did very well, better than we either one of us anticipated. We thought for sure the numbers would be lower, but they were just about the same. And this wasn't a community-backed yard sale. This was just us putting out there.
Sorry, new software, new soundboard, and I figured what better opportunity to test it out than that right there. There's some preloaded stuff in there. I forgot that it was there.
We're gonna have fun with that,
dude. I'll tell you, it's funny because it's not even, when you're contemplating a move. I think I told you this when we first got this house under contract. We decided, hey, let's have a yard sale. And within like 2-3 weeks, it wasn't even about money. It was good to get money. But literally, it was just, let's
get rid of shit.
Get rid of some of this shit. And you get so excited when big stuff goes. And like literally there would be stuff that was out there, people would come up to me and be like, hey, what do you want for this or whatever. My wife was talking to them and came up, hey, do you have a price on this? It's like, hey, make me an offer. And they would say a number, and I'd say sold. And it didn't matter what it was, like.
Right.
And the guy was just, like there was stuff where the guy was like, oh, really? Okay, here you go. I'm like, you got to understand.
I was lowballing, thanks.
It was, and I don't remember specifically what it was, but it was just like, you are offering me currency to clean out my house. I will take it.
Right, that part. Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. There are some pieces that I'd rather keep it. Than give it to you for the dollar you're asking for it.
Right.
No, I'd rather keep it. That's right. If I can't sell it for more than that, I'll be sure it gets to a good home.
Yeah.
Not somebody who spends a dollar for it and doesn't appreciate it. But yeah, we had a great weekend. It's busy. It's a lot of work because again, the garage sale's at a friend's house. It's not here, so we had to cart everything over. And then get it set up. And now this week I'll be spending time getting what didn't sell back. Which, is again a part of the process, but we sold a lot of shit. We sold a lot of big shit. So that feels good. It feels good to come back and there's a dent has been made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not as many bins clogging up your dining room area this time around, so that's really great. And then have stuff up on Marketplace and stuff up on OfferUp. So if you guys want any official Big Sexy items, hit me up on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. I'm selling a bunch of stuff. If you want, and if you ask nicely, I'll even autograph it for you.
Oh,
and make you a good deal on it. I mean, you may not want me writing on your bed, but, I'll be happy to do that if that's what you're looking for. To all my fans. But, speaking of things, this is a terrible segue, but it's okay. It's morning, and I know words are things and words work. But, however, so here's a segue I was looking for. Speaking of listeners... we have a listener who hit me up directly, who was talking about the podcast and giving us kudos. So thank you very much. Shout out to Amanda.
What's up, Amanda?
Who has a question for you, the almost psychic.
Okay.
Amanda loves magic. Absolutely adores it. She's really intrigued by it. And so she was inquiring, how did you get started doing magic?
How did I get started doing magic?
What's the Almost Psychic's origin story?
So I'll tear this out and go back to the very beginning, and I will say that I've always had an interest, but other than the only thing that I can remember actually doing when I was a kid was having maybe like a marked deck of cards. And I don't think I'm giving away too much to the magic community, by admitting that there are decks of playing cards that you can purchase out there that have markings on the back.
Everybody and their mama knows there are decks of cards you can purchase.
So, and these were something that you could buy at, like, I don't want to say you could buy them at like a Walmart, but they would be sold in, I guess, a novelty store or something like that. So I always had an interest in it, but I don't think that I ever really progressed further than having maybe that marked deck and maybe one other gimmicked deck that I won't give too much away about. But basically a gimmick deck is something where something's different about that deck, kind of like the markings that help you do whatever it's designed to do. I never performed other than maybe, showing a family member or something like that. Never really had any sort of desire at that, growing up to perform, and never pursued it. Like, nobody ever bought, a lot of magicians seem to have these origin stories that start, with the exception of Matt Donnelly, these origin stories that start with describing the magic kit that they had when they were a kid. I don't have that origin story. I never had the magic kit when I was a kid.
Did Matt Donnelly ever have a magic kit when he was a kid? We're gonna have to ask him.
I don't know if he ever had his. It has nothing. If he did,
it has nothing to do with the minute origin story.
Correct.
Right.
So, I mean, I never really did anything with it, and then I was in Vegas to get married in 2017, and
when's your anniversary?
It is August 30th.
That's hilarious. Our anniversary is also in 2017, but we're May 27th. We're Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we actually got married on the high roller.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and
you're one of those people.
What do you mean, one of those people?
Those people who do shit like get married on the high roller.
Yeah, I guess that would qualify me. So when we and I'll come back to the magic origin story, but when we got married, we were like, let's just go to. We don't want to have a big wedding or anything like that. Let's go to Vegas and get married. So it wasn't like we planned to do it, but had no plan, if that makes sense. We did not know where. We did not know specifically what day. It was, we're going to go out there for the week. I guess we were out there for probably about a week, and we will figure it out. Like, we ended up, researching the downtown-ish Elvis places. We went and talked to the people at the Flamingo. We looked at other options. They wanted to charge us something like $5,000 to do a wedding on the high roller. And a buddy of mine from undergrad, he happened to be in Vegas, saw that I had checked in on social media or something like that. He was in town for a some sort of work conference. They always have all those conventions and shit.
Right.
And he's in the tech world, so I don't know exactly what it was, but he was there for that. We met up to have a drink or whatever, like you do. And the conversation was
CES. That's CES, right? CES is the tech.
I don't know exactly which one he was there for, but because they have a bunch of different ones.
SEMA Tech. I know one's cars and one's tech, and then AVN, but that's
right.
neither.
There's tech involved in that.
There is tech involved in that.
Audio, video,
tech.
Yeah,
back end tech.
Right.
Low end tech.
Back end shit right there. Yeah. So we were having this conversation with him and telling him, hey, we're out here to do this. We don't have a plan. He's like, well, if you figure out where you want to do it, I actually got ordained to one of those, probably one of those internet things for his sister to get married. So we were like, pick a time. We went and we had comp tickets to get on the high roller. We went on the when they had the all you could drink card. I don't know if they've brought that back or not because I don't do the high roller every time I'm out there.
I have yet to do the high roller. I have never done the high roller.
Well, if you want to do the high roller, let's do the high roller in the past when I come out there tomorrow. In the past from the recording time on this. But so we roll up in there. It was and we did the bar cart because two things. Number one, we're drinking, and number two, we knew that the bartender would at least be the witness that we needed to do this. We had two other random guys on there that were there from Alaska. So the high roller is this huge, Ferris wheel, right? Is that Ferris wheel?
An observation wheel.
Well, it's Ferris wheel style, except you're in these big carts, these orbs that. And
here's the delineation, because I had to learn this because I used to work for the Stratosphere, so we had to be able to highlight different attractions in Vegas. The reason it's an observation wheel is because it's continuously moving and moving very slowly. Whereas Ferris wheels, it rotates at a much quicker pace. It's only designed for two people. They're open pods instead of enclosed pods.
And they stop to put people on.
And they stop. It stops to put people on, take people on and off. Yeah.
So we were on the observation wheel, and the observation wheel takes 30 minutes to go all the way around. I would say about 10 minutes into it, my boy John turns to the guys that are in the car and says, "Hey, just want to let you guys in on a little secret. You are going to witness a wedding today. Are you guys all right with that? Okay, great, because you didn't have much of a choice. You're stuck in this thing." And then we just did the thing, and they signed off on the certificate, and we all had drinks, and they weren't allowed to give us shots, but the bartender did afterwards.
Nice.
So that was cool
Awesome.
too. So anyway, while we were there that weekend, I knew there was a reason that I ended up telling the wedding story on the high roller. We saw Mac King, we saw Penn and Teller, probably something else. We did not see Piff because Piff was dark and was on tour or something at the time.
Did you see Murray Sawchuk?
I'm sorry?
I said Murray Sawchuk?
No, I did not see Murray. I don't know if he was there at the time. I mean, I know that he's around, and I know that he currently has a show at the Trop. And his dressing room apparently is a fun place to hang out.
Don't know what we're talking about. Go listen to Ice Cream Social episode.
Or if you're from Vegas, you should know this story, and if you are interested in or connected to Vegas, you will have seen the stories about this.
Yeah,
but if you Google him, you're going to find out. You're going to see him on Judge Judy or whatever that was.
Vegas Murray dressing room, and you'll find up some interesting, fun information.
Exactly.
No, actually, everybody, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go on Twitter to @SweetMattieD and bombard him with questions about Murray Sawchuk's dressing room.
That is
just because
Maddie MATTYD.
D is in David. Just because I feel like being a little bit of a dick right now. I'm busting these balls, so let's do that.
Yeah, why not?
I want to see, honestly, this is an experiment. I want to see if folks will hit up Sweet Matty D with questions about Murray Sawchuk's dressing room. And then I want to see how long it takes for that to get back to us after this episode drops.
Gotta love it.
I love social network experiments. That's one of the things that gets me off. But, okay, so you saw a bunch of magicians.
Ended up kind of falling into a magic shop while I was out there. I may have bought stuff from Mac. I may have bought stuff from Penn and Teller. And I think we saw one other show, but I don't remember. And I bought a couple tricks. The next time I was out there, went back into that same magic shop, which has since closed because, like so many other things after COVID, it just didn't survive.
Right.
And the guy at the counter at that point in time was like, "Hey, you should check out this website. They've got this deal going where you can get, 10 lessons from this book, on video for like $100." And then I was hooked from that point in time. So for about, 5 years, I guess it's been now. Yeah, 5 years. A little over 5 years. I've been kind of teaching myself stuff, spending a ton of money on stuff. I would do, walk around stuff in bars, card tricks, other fun little gags and everything like that. Really with no intention of performing. And when I started, so about a year ago now, I linked up with this local community theater to start booking magicians. Well, I linked up with them more than a year ago, but about a year ago we had our first show. And now we've come full circle to somebody that we've already harassed in this episode. Sweet Maddie D was our first performer. The Mind Noodler was the first guy that we had at the theater in Elkton, Maryland, the Elkton Magic Theater. So when we were going through booking and everything like that, he asked me, hey, you do magic, do you want to open for me? I had never done any sort of stage performance at that point in time, just the walk around, fun stuff. It would be pick 2 or 3 things that I wanted to just fool around with that night, and I would take them, load them up, and if I found people to do tricks for, great. Now I get paid to do stuff like that. So yeah, I put together, I said, I'm not going to say no to this opportunity. I've never done it before, but hey, sounds good. I opened for him 2 nights, did about 15-minute set each night and was kind of hooked. So just slowly, it's been about a year. It will be more than a year from the time that this episode airs, but just about a year from us recording it. And no turning back. So I've put a lot of time into putting together a full stage show. My trip to Vegas, which will have already happened by now, but the one that is tomorrow from the time of us recording this, is specifically to do more study and more work on some of the routines within my act. And if it works out, if they get renewed for another season, I plan on at least submitting to potentially be on the next season of Full Us. We'll see if that happens or not. They've got to get the ball's in their court. They got to get renewed first.
They got to get renewed. Yes. We understand the importance of them. I'm pretty sure they're getting renewed because I think they're still the number 1 show on. Wait. There we go. Come back. Yes. All right. Well,
I'll tell you, the number 1 show on the CW certainly isn't that. You're good.
I refuse.
It certainly isn't that hot mess that Chris Angel has been putting out.
He will not get one iota.
I watched one episode.
My attention.
Have you watched any of it?
Ever.
You're not missing anything.
I'll let other people digest his bullshit and then report it back. If I end up watching anything with that dude, it'll be by accident because I didn't know it was by him. And it's
I decided to watch the first episode of this. I think it's called Magic with the Stars or something like that. The premise is that they bring these celebrities in and teach them to do magic tricks. Well, maybe I'm not connected. Maybe I don't watch enough stuff to understand. But the first 2 cats that they had on there, I did not recognize their celebrity.
I heard that Genuine was on the show.
I don't even know the names of the guys. As far as the performances and stuff they did on the show,
I think he's the only name I've heard so far who was on the show. Because somebody was talking about his act and what have you.
Oh, not this episode, no. And the takeaway I got from this show, and this probably reflects your feelings on Chris Angel, but to me, I felt like Chris Angel does magic for people who
they're the ones with the
pierce their own body parts. Like, I don't mean like go and get them done, but like actually they're like, oh, I want to pierce this, and do it themselves. Like, it just, that's the feel that I got out of this show. Like, it was hokey. It was bad. The only
From what
good
I'm
part
hearing,
about it was
it
Lance
stays
Burton,
a hot mess,
and he could
from
only
my
do so
understanding.
much. It was kind of a hot mess, at least the first episode. And from what I understand, you
Right.
want your first episode of a season to be good, and you want your third episode of a
I have
season to
very
be good,
little
because
experience in
apparently that's
TV,
the
and I
one
still-
where
I
the
don't know
ratings
this.
matter for you getting renewed. I don't know this. I have no experience in TV.
But you don't know the almost psychic has a
But,
visitor.
Yeah,
Dear
so
listener.
that's yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was that's kind of that's the origin story right there. And then, I've been doing a lot of
Do you
work
have a
with
favorite
people,
magician?
many of them out there in Vegas. Jeff McBride and the folks from his School of Mystery.
No, I don't care if people recognize him or not.
Let's see. The one that people would recognize, probably.
Rest in peace, Max and Maven.
Well, one of my bigger influences was Max Maven, who recently passed away. Bob Cassidy, who he actually.
So you only like dead magicians.
He passed away just before I got involved in learning stuff. And then Harry Anderson, who is probably recognizable to anybody in our age bracket.
Yeah.
Well, they are now.
You didn't finish
they weren't
the
always.
Harry Anderson was famous, for Night Court.
But yeah, all three of
the
those
TV show Night Court.
guys are dead now.
Yeah, I think I see
For
a
Night
few
Court,
episodes of
yeah.
it. Maybe.
And then he
If
had a
it's what I'm
different show.
thinking
He
of.
had a show called Dave that I don't know that anybody watched.
Night Court was my jam. I love Night Court. Oh.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
some
but it
little
won't be the
sitcom
same.
thing. But Night Court was my jam. I loved Night Court growing up. They're bringing it back. So the gal, and I don't know names of people, but the gal who is...
Nope, yeah. Okay.
So Big Bang Theory, Bernadette, the blonde hair, squeaky voice,
In the storyline.
that actress, she is apparently Judge Stone's daughter in the storyline,
What if they'll get Marsha Warfield
and is
back?
a judge. And John Larroquette is
I
somehow
hope so. Marsha
back and
Warfield
involved
is
in this
the
show.
African American lady.
Probably
She's a
still
stand-up comic.
as Dan Fielding.
She played a bailiff. Roz. Yeah. I'm bad
is
with the
that?
character name. Yeah, she played Roz. Yes. The actor's name.
Roz.
Together, we'll have the whole show down pat.
Yes. Yeah, I can give you character names. I just can't always give you actress names. Yeah. But that guy that played this character. Exactly. Yeah, when I watch a show, I get into
You successfully suspend disbelief.
I dispel the illusion of reality and watch the show. So that's right. So yeah, that's the origin story. No big fame there, but just doing shows whenever I can. Hopefully in 2023, things are kind of to the point where, like, my biggest obstacle right now, other than just trying to solidify the character development element of my stage persona, and just tweaking some things about the performance itself, my biggest obstacle on doing something that resembles a tour or playing out and about is really time. So my hope is that some things have kind of ironed themselves out, and I've kind of gotten the time to be able to get out there and do more on the road come 2023. And obviously, if any of that stuff is happening, it will be announced on this show. That way, if you're listening and you're in an area that I'm performing, you'll be able to come see me. And if you assuming that the dates work out for the 2023 Scoop Fest, if there is one, if they do a variety show, which I can't imagine that they wouldn't, I will make every effort to be involved in that. I was supposed to be involved and participate in the variety show this last year, but the traffic, which I know we've already talked about, the traffic of me getting to the airport that
right
weekend.
Now, I want to give because this is a bank episode, like normally we'd be giving shouts out to
so next time,
whatever's upcoming
next time
for both of us. But as this is a bank episode, this will happen post a lot of stuff. But even if we were actually recording this now, what happened in the past is we had a meet and greet. So thank you everybody who came out to that. It was good to see you all. Thank you very much. I would list you by name, but unlike my partner across here, I'm not an almost psychic.
It's good to meet you all.
Right. Yeah. The you can't fill out the my God!
I've got
yes.
some
Thank you.
Issues.
Thank you for
across 3,000 miles. So
I love when my brain kicks in and goes, I have a story to tell.
I've yet
and
to
my
see.
I've been sitting there going, there's something I need to tell. And specifically, I need to tell the almost psychic. Let me tell you what happened at our yard sale. So it's day 2. It's early afternoon. We've been out there for a minute. We're at my friend Susan's house. My wife has gone to adjust the signage that we have out. It's morning to adjust the signage that we have posted guiding people to the house. So Susan is sitting on the couch across from me, and we're inside the garage, and all the stuff is on the driveway. I'm sitting in a chair across from Susan, and then my friend Moma, shout out to Susan, shout out to Moma, is in the doorway from the garage to the backyard to set up the scene. These 2 ladies get out of a car, and they kind of meander up towards the garage, kind of perusing as they're walking by, but, looking at stuff. And this one lady says in our direction, oh, you guys are a lovely couple. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She says to me, oh, your wife is beautiful. Your wife is amazing. And I look, and it's just me and Susan. And spoiler alert, Susan and I are not married. Not dating. Nothing. Because, again, I'm married to a wonderful, beautiful woman by the name of Nella Berry White. Those who know she's gorgeous. And I, in turn, say, oh, we kind of chuckle, right? And I say, oh, my wife would have loved to hear you say that. She doesn't pick up on it. Just says, oh, yes, absolutely, you guys are beautiful. You guys are great. See, you guys are moving, this and this and that, whatever. The next words out of her mouth are, I do psychic readings. Would you like one? Susan and I look at each other. We're just like staring at each other.
Oh, my.
And we both go, no, thank you. We're fine. We're okay. But we appreciate the offer. No, that's fine. And again, the second that woman may be out of earshot, we both look and say, bitch, if you psychic, you done fucked up. You done messed that up. How you going to be psychic? How you going to give us a psychic reading and you can't tell that we are not only tell that we're not married because your psychic ability is so on point. How do you not pick up on the context clues you were given that you have made the wrong assumption? Like, oh no, you failed. Had she walked up and been like, oh, this is a lovely house, and I see you guys are, if she put it as you must be moving, and this is your house, so how cool for you to do this for your friend, and then offer the psychic reading, I would have been more intrigued. I'd have been more intrigued if you were able to correctly identify the scenario that you're looking at without having any prior knowledge.
And there are people who do that, and they're all charlatans. It's all bullshit. I've studied it a little bit. It's an intensive practice to do cold readings on people. But just, there is some guesswork involved in it, and clearly she guessed wrong. And here's the thing. Back in the day when not everybody had a podcast, and don't get me wrong, it's not like there's thousands of people listening to this podcast.
That's right.
But, it's not like there's millions of people listening to this podcast. Hey, pitch high, watch them by. The element there is there wasn't back in the day some broadcast ability to say, hey, here are reasons why this person was clearly a fraud. But even then, even today, in this situation, you don't have we're not blowing up this individual person. We're blowing up the concept generally.
Yeah, had I gotten her name, I would be blasted. I would be putting her on blast.
If you're spending your money on that kind of stuff,
right now,
it should be for no reason other than the pure entertainment of it.
And put them on the same blast. Agreed.
But you could legitimately, here's the thing, you can legitimately enter the name of anybody who's offering psychic readings and put them on the same blast.
That was just...
So insert that medium, that psychic person, quote unquote, that's got that little roadside shop near you.
And the best part was telling my wife when she got back.
That's my psychic reading for the day.
Like, hey, guess what? Me and Susan make a very beautiful couple. It was hilarious. It was so fabulous. Oh, yeah. Made our Sunday morning. Made it.
I was only gone for
absolutely lovely. It kicked off the day. I tell you what, mahjong and yard sale, like doing mahjong outside and having a yard sale on the driveway. That if I had a house, I'd do that every weekend. Yeah, if my living situation was a house and we needed to sell all our shit, every weekend I would load shit out to the driveway, set up mahjong in the garage, invite friends over to play mahjong, and then just sell the shit off every single weekend until everything was gone. It was a great time. It was a great time. So again, big shout out to Susan for letting us use your house. Sincerely, thank you. Shout out to the Las Vegas Henderson Mahjong Butt Touching Society for coming out, playing, and having a good time. It was great. For those who don't know, I play mahjong every Sunday. And if you're in Vegas, it's a game. So long if you speak English, I can teach you how to play it.
Are you going to try to? Does that translate? Obviously, that when you go to other countries, you should be able to take that with you, right?
No, that's the solitaire version of mahjong. This is the game of mahjong.
I've never played, but
like rummy.
You're matching tiles, correct?
Yeah, you have to get 4 sets of 3 and a pair to mahjong to win the hand. So you're constantly trying to build your hand to achieve that goal. No,
gotcha.
Look, I don't speak Chinese, and they're all Chinese symbols.
Based on the symbols, so
yeah, you just have to understand the concept of a run of 3 or 3 of a kind.
Great English for you to be able to teach them,
and then you're going to learn some Mandarin because we say Pong and Chow and
right,
Pong, Mahjong. I think the 4 main phrases that we recognize, and then you're calling out winds and dragons and suits. I wrote a song about it to the tune of Time Warp, which at some point in time I will record, and then we'll have to play it on here so you can hear the parody song that I created for the Mahjong group. Let's play some Mahjong again. Yeah, for real. For real. Any music producers out there, they're looking for a vocalist,
we got to get you a music
lyricist,
we got to get you a music producer,
a person who can write song lyrics. Hit me up. Let me know. Let's work. Let's collaborate.
Yeah, let's create some opportunities here. And that's the kind of stuff with today's technology
I
that can be done anywhere. So you don't have to be here. You can be on the road. It could
collaborate
be
with some
you can be on the
composers
road.
from the musical
It could be,
that I'm writing.
the Digital Nomad Ensemble.
They keep falling through because again, people have their own lives, and nobody's gonna wake up with your passion. So you gotta make your way and make it happen. And so, but I've been in talks with some folks. So hopefully, collaboration's not too far off. There have been some musicians that I've created a couple songs here and there with, but hopefully down the wire that comes into fruition. Especially when I have more time to work on it, when I'm not locked down at the complaints department. Word. So I am at Who is Big Sexy?
Let's give them the rundown on how to get in touch with you if they are interested in collaborating, or if they've got questions, or
put the S on big and take it off the sexy. But yeah, I mean, Who's Big Sexy everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Your mama's back tattoo. I'm at all those places, and then you can catch. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I am. Yeah, I was gonna say I am psychic-ish on Instagram and Twitter while it still exists.
What the hell is that?
And I also, not that I understand it, but just signed up for Mastodon. Whatever the hell that is.
The Mastodon was the big elephant-looking dinosaur, right?
Whatever Mastodon is. Maybe by the time this airs, I'll know what Mastodon is, or who knows.
Like the woolly mammal. Those are called mastodons, right? So whatever you're doing is tusky and hairy.
Yes. Yep. That's right. So yeah, that's I mean, if you know how that works, reach out to us. bigsexynomad@gmail.com, bigsexynomad.com. You'll have to send an email because I don't think that we have a contact form on the website, but we do have the ability for you to leave us an audio message, and by the time this airs, you will have heard some of those in the external monologue segment.
Sure that,
we're not doing that today because of timing.
When we do an external monologue, we don't want somebody's
question that to come in and take forever,
because we love our fans, and we know how much you guys want to hear yourself. All right.
That's right. That's right. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you once again. And like my partner just said, on behalf of Big Sexy Digital Nomad,
safe travels.
Safe travels.